Perfect. Okay. So my name is Betty Sakosha. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and the team leader for the Power of Positive Inking. And I wanted to share with you today a relatively quick fun fold card that I recently did with my my monthly club that meets at my house. And you will be able to use it in a lot of different ways with any of your supplies that you currently already have, but I did want to feature a current supply that is on my list of gotta haves for a number of reasons. So I'm going to flip you down and get started, and I'll show you that, and you'll understand why. Okay, ready and flip. Boom. There we go. That was smooth, huh? Okay, not so smooth. Whatever. There's my information if you need to reach out to me. You can find me at bettyboop.stampinup.net. There I am. All right. So what I wanted to feature today is a... Now I want to unzoom. Now I'm asking too much. Oh. Ay, ay, ay. It's as if I've never done this before. Okay, well, we'll adapt. In any case, what I want to use today features the current notes of spring. So this is the current product of the month this month. The product of the month is a product that Stampin' Up! Offers. It changes every month, hence the name, Product of the Month. And it only costs $5. Once you spend $75, so if you put in a $75 order, which buy whatever you'd like with that. I do have some suggestions here, but buy whatever you would like, and then you can add this product of the month for $5. And I'm really, really loving this. So it's got the little deer, the duck. I actually saw somebody the other day make that into a mallard. Oh, so cute. These are like flowery things. This is the one item in this thing I haven't actually used yet, but they're kind of flowers. The bunny, and some grass. And then these little features provide kind of a background. So you could use these features alone, but these kind of shadowy looks, I'll show you today how you can utilize those. But those, or you don't have to. So lots of options. And then a few greetings, especially a little note of thanks and happiest birthday wishes. So, let me show you the card, and perhaps by the end, you too will be inspired. So let me stick that aside. I'll put this up here. Let me see if I can raise that up just a smidge. Okay, so the paper that I am using, I'm going to start with, I really need to unzoom. Oh, look, I did. Okay. I need my paper cutter. So we're starting with a piece of 8.5 by 11, and I'm going to cut this down to 5.5 by 11. Okay, so this is not a typical size card base that it will fit in an envelope. It will be typical card size when I'm all done, but to begin with, it's going to be 5.5 by 11 inches. So I'm going to cut that. This, just save. You'll need it, but not right away. And then I'm going to score this. Now, I'm going to bring in my measurements here so that you can see. With my apologies, okay? Can you see these? I hope you can see them. So your first score, whoops, that's your DSP. We don't need that yet. We need cardstock. So your first, it's 5.5 by 11, and your first score is going to be at 4.25 inches. Make sure you move your cutting blade out of the way and bring in your scoring blade only. And then it's 3 3/8. And I do apologize because you know I would never use 1/8 of an inch. If I didn't have to, I would never make you do it. But in this case, you're actually going to need that. So, and then you're just going to flip it over and repeat the same thing because there's no need for more numbers in our life than we have. So 1 1/4, excuse me, by 3 3/8. Okay, that is all the scoring that you need to do. So I can now move this out of the way, but I will leave this up here. I'll leave it over here. How's that? Can you see that? Okay. I'm trying to get my stand a little bit easier to see. Okay, so now that I've got this scored, we're going to fold the second score line, the 3 3/8 in, and then we're going to fold back the 1 and an eighth, 1 and a 1 and a quarter. Wow. Okay, that's what you're going to do. Okay, so 1 is going to fold back, 1 is going to fold in, and fold back. So when you're done, you're going to have this type of situation going on. Okay. Now the DSP that I'm using for that is from this pack of paper. You can see that it has been well loved. This is actually my second pack of this paper, and I've used so much of it. This is called the Easter Joy paper. There's the code if you need it, 166939. And it's got this kind of glossy look to it. I'm not going to actually use this piece, but I'm going to see if you can kind of see. So it's almost like I don't even know. It's got shine to it. And then it's got even more shine on certain pieces of it, right? Like the middle of that flower there and the grass have just a little bit more sparkle. And then the other side is also patterned, but is flat. So lots and lots that you can do with this paper. Much of it is Eastery, but some of it is just kind of springy. So that's why I chose this paper. So you're going to you need 4 pieces of DSP. And one of them will be cut at 1 inch by 5 1/4. So one. When I say one set. So you need 2 that match. 1 inch by 5 1/4. And then the second one, sorry to say, involves 1/8 of an inch again. It's 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. So 1 7/8, 5 1/4. You need 2 of these and 2 of these. Now, as pretty as these sides are, I needed something a little bit more subtle. So we're actually going to use the back side, which is a lot more subtle. You can see no real shine to that, but really, really cute pattern. So it's definitely Easterish. It's got eggs and daffodils and tulips, and then this simple plaid. Okay, so those are the sides that I'm going to use for this card. So let me pull in my green glue. This is going to be pretty obvious where everything goes. You're going to put the smaller piece on this smaller section right there. And just match it up on the other side. Now my particular the DSP I'm using, I didn't cut the plaid. They don't match. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. If it matters to you, make sure you cut your plaid accordingly, but I'm okay with this not matching. Now that I've brought your attention to it, it's going to make you crazy for the rest of the video, so I apologize. But it is what it is. Okay. I'll show you one that actually does match when I'm done. It's just the one I happen to grab did not match. And then these pieces, the larger piece, are going to tuck right back here on this part, right? So this part can fold over on this. Easy peasy. So while this is a fun fold card, this is an easy one to have in your stash. This is not a difficult card to do. It does not allow you to get two card bases from one piece of cardstock, however. So there's that. If you're down on paper, this would not be the one that you want to go with, but if you got plenty of paper and you're feeling it, this is a really easy fun fold to do. Okay, so that is my fun fold. Okay, now the inside is where I'm going to bring in my notes of spring. Oh, you know what? I'm going to grab one more. All right, I'll grab this. I decided I wanted to add one more thing to this that I didn't previously have on here. Maybe I won't. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it. I'll show you my finished sample. Okay, so I wanted to use the bunny, this cute little bunny here, because I do want this to be an Easter card. So I'm going to take my bunny and my background. And I'm going to take the main. I find it easier. It's kind of like, if you're into English scones, do you put on the jam or the clotted cream first? It's like a big controversy in the world of scones. In the world of Stampin' Up, two-step stamping, there's kind of this big, it's a little bit divisive. Do you stamp your main image or your background image first? I'm a fan of stamping my main image because I feel like it's easier to place my background image. So that is my rationale for that. I'm using Balmy Blue, which is what I've got for my background paper. And I'm going to stamp that little, look at him. Oh, so cute. Okay, now I'm going to take my background bunny, and I'm actually going to stamp this off on some scrap paper because I want it to be lighter. You would still see it, but I want it super light. So I'm stamping that off. So I'm what I call decaf stamping my bunny. Just going to line him up, and he is kind of a watercolor look, so he's not exact, which makes this a very, very easy process. Look at him. Adorable, right? So cute. Okay, so then I'm going to put in, so this card, my other card is my finished sample that I actually prepared last week. Has different colors in it, but this one is going to be monochromatic because my Shy Shamrock is in a box, and I don't want to make you wait for that. So I am going to use these greetings here, and you may wonder, where are those from? Because what I did not mention is, while I love this paper, I did not get the whole suite attached. So I just got the actual, just the paper. So you may be wondering where the Sweet Spring Greetings come from. And that is from the latest Paper Pumpkin. The Paper Pumpkin that is all Eastery stuff that came last month. If you didn't get it, you can't get it. But it's a really sweet one, and it came with some really sweet stamps. So that's what I'm using my greeting, Sweet Spring Greetings. If you are interested in Paper Pumpkin, certainly there's some really good, we got a little preview of some to come. So there's some good ones coming, and I'd be happy to talk to you about that. Okay, before I finish off this card, because this card is nearly done, I decided I'm actually going to stamp the back of it, which I never really do. But this is, I'll show you why at the end, because you're definitely we're going to put a belly band on this whole thing, so people are going to turn it over and check out your belly band. So I decided, what the heck, I'm going to treat this background almost as if it is background paper, you know, like designer paper. So I want a half a bunny on part here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. So I want a half a bunny, but I don't want it to get on the front of my card. So I'm just putting my scrap paper there. This is what you call lazy and last minute stamping, because I hadn't thought about doing that, but now I've got a half a bunny there, which makes it look more like real DSP that I cut. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm just lining my scrap paper right up along where your where the seam is. And let's see, one more there and one more here is fine. And I am going to go in and add the shadow underneath my bunny, because it may be hard to see on the video, but in real life it definitely makes a difference. All right, now I gotta go back and mask off the sides here that I did before. Look at that, matches up perfect. I wouldn't have to do that, but I could figure out what I was stamping. And then the same thing over here. Okay, by the way, I don't know if anybody has heard the great news, but we're getting new grid paper in the new catalog. Oh, you probably couldn't even see what I was doing because I was so zoomed in. I'm sorry. Let me pull this up so you can see. You may not be able to tell, but there's definitely, by stamping the bunny in the background, it definitely made a difference. Back to the grid paper. There's new grid paper coming in the new catalog, and it's the same size as the glass plate. That may not seem like big news, but it kind of is. Okay, so let's take my Sweet Spring Greetings, stick that on the inside of the card, like so. And this is just a basic 4 by 5 1/4 piece of basic white. So the card is almost done, but we need to put something on the front. So I've cut a 1 3/4 inch circle and a 1 7/8 inch circle. I'm going to put my bunny on that. So I'll stamp him full strength. And then I will stamp him decaf. Well, I'll decaf the background. So stamp that off. Stamp it right in there. There we go. Okay. And then I'm just going to layer this together using my green glue. You use your adhesive of choice. You absolutely could do this with a 2-inch punch if you don't own the 1 7/8, but I kind of liked the small shadow, the small layer behind that. Okay, now we're going to make a belly band because this will not stay closed really well. So I'm going to make a belly band to go around the whole thing and put my bunny on top. So this piece of cardstock that I cut is 1 inch by 10 inches. And I'm literally just going to wrap it around here. I never score my cardstock when I'm making a belly band because I never really know how thick it needs to be. And for me, this is an easy way to do it. So I start sort of towards the middle here and just kind of wrap it around the back. Sometimes if I think it looks better, you're going to cover this up, so it doesn't really matter. But you want your seam on wherever you're going to cover up. Okay, I never would want a seam on the back. I just think that looks a little bit messy, and I just don't like it. So I'm going to put my seam right on the front like this. Now, because it is a belly band, I find that tear tape is the strongest, most efficient way to do what I'm about to do, which is to adhere this down. Green glue would hold eventually, but green glue takes a little while to actually stick, so I don't have the patience to wait for that. If you do, green glue is an alternative for sure, but I like using the tear tape for that. All right, now I found this a little bit bland, just like that, so I dug into my stash and found the what do we call this? Gingham blue, balmy blue gingham ribbon. So cute. It is in the same suite as all of the, I think it's called the Easter Joy suite, which features the paper as well as a stamp set. As I mentioned, I did not get the stamp set, but I got the ribbon and the paper, and they're really cute. Okay, so I'm going to put my tear tape. I'm using more tear tape because I want to adhere my ribbon down. And I put it so that I know it's close enough that my main image is going to cover it. So I'm not really concerned that it doesn't look that good there. And I don't care that it's going up and down because it's not going to be a problem at all. So I'm just going to wrap my tear tape, my balmy blue ribbon. Oh, I need scissors. Okay, I'm going to wrap that around to about here. I know you're thinking that's pretty ugly. It doesn't matter. It's going to be all covered with a really cute bunny. All right, and then I'm going to grab some more tear tape and just put it right on top like that. I hope it's going to be covered. Yes, perfect. It's going to be covered. That was a little dicey there. But all of this is covered and is going to stay put. Then I'm just going to grab some dimensionals. I am down to the edge of dimension. I love using the edge of dimensionals. I don't know about you, but that brings me joy. I feel like I've made it. I've used them efficiently. It's kind of like using the last piece of DSP. It kind of brings me joy to know I've used it all up. I can start afresh. Okay, so that is underneath. Again, I know, pretty ugly, right? But don't panic. Look at how cute this is. And the only thing that could make it cuter is a little bow. So I cut some bows. I like to, if I'm doing bows on things, I don't mind doing bows ahead and just attaching them on. I'm really bad at actually making a bow here. So if that's you and you think I can never use a bow, just do your bows separately and glue them on. Nobody cares. Nobody needs to know. I'm just going to use a little green glue, but you could definitely use a glue dot right there. Look at how cute. Okay, now it's going to take a while. I told you that green glue takes a little while to dry, right? So I'm going to put this one aside, and I'm going to bring in my original, which actually has more color to it, so it's a better sample. Okay, and plus, look, see, this lines up. When I cut this one, I cut one piece, 2-inch piece by 5 1/4 inch piece, and then I just sliced it down the middle, so you get a continuous plaid pattern. And then everything will line up. So if this bugs you on this one, just do it differently, and it'll be fine. In this case, I was able to use some of the other features in the card, or some of the other stamps in the stamp set. So I used this little greenery here, this little grass, and then this little blobby that kind of goes behind the grass. There's a word for it. Blobby is not it. Shadow is not it. I don't know what it is, but all of the words I'm using are not it. But that image. So I was able to stamp those off and using the Shy Shamrock, which is the color here. So everything kind of coordinates together. So this slides off. And then on the inside, I was able to add some more of the grass. So the longer grass, as well as some of the shorter grass there. Now, on this particular card, I did not stamp the back of it. And that's when I got the idea to stamp the back of the other one. So let me show you when it's all, whoops. Okay, so that's upside down. Let me put this back in. Like so. Okay, so people will definitely, they'll turn your card over because they want to know who made this card, etc., etc. And this, to me, because it was a belly band that was the same color, it was a little bit boring. So on this one here, I kind of liked the bunnies on the back. And then I'll just initial and date one of the bunnies down here as my signature. So those are 2 samples. I was going to say, which do you like better? But there's a clear winner here. There's definitely a clear winner. So this is the winner of the Cutest Bunny card. But I definitely wanted to show you that because Notes of Spring is the product of the month this month with Stampin' Up. So for orders of $75 or more, you can get the Notes of Spring for $5. It will, once you get to $75, it will say, you may pick a product of the month. And then it brings you to the product of the month page, and that's where you will get to choose. There actually are some previous products of the month that are still available. So if those speak to you more than this, then by all means, grab those. If you have already gotten this and you place an additional order for $75, you may choose a different product of the month as long as they're available. So I don't want you to miss out on that, so that's why I had to show you. All right. Also, I want to tell you next month, the product of the month next month is actually going to be a die. It's kind of like a background die, and we have seen a preview of it. I clearly have not been able to order it, but I will be getting it at the beginning of next month, and I certainly will tell you about it. But I don't want you to miss out on the Notes of Spring now. So if you are interested in placing an order for anything you saw today or anything else you might need, you can find my website at bettyboop.stampinup.net. And we'll walk you through exactly how you order and what is available. If you have placed an order with me in the past month of $50 or the past 6 months of $50 or more, you will be receiving the new catalog, which will begin. It will arrive sometime next month, but it will begin May 5th. If you have not placed an order with me, but you are interested in receiving a catalog, just reach out to me and I'd be happy to help you out with that. All right, thanks for joining me, and I appreciate your patience with my minor fiasco, but in the end, still cute, cuter, but still cute. All right, we'll talk to you later. Thanks for joining me, and have a good day.